Hello to all traders and welcome back to another market review brought to you by Orbex. So we're kicking off this Monday morning's trading with another look on gold. It's been very volatile in the last couple of weeks due to the banking crisis, which seems to be hopefully settling down now. Apparently Deutsche Bank was in trouble at the back end of last week, but a lot of investors and economists are saying that it's not the next Credit Suisse. It will not be going under or being sold off. It's just a case of traders being a little bit worried about their funds in the bank, and there's been a bit of a sell-off in stocks as well. But from the morning, we've seen a little bit more of a upside on Deutsche Bank stock. So it has a little bit more of a way to go before it does a full reversal, but we've been assured that the banking crisis in Europe especially is not going to reflect the one in America that we saw a couple of weeks ago. And since then, we've seen gold kind of plateauing at the moment. It's having more of a sell-off, $30 sell-off of the 2000 area, which seems like a bit of a resistance zone from what a lot of economists have been looking at in the near term especially. So we saw gold spike just over 2000 in last week's session, got up roughly to $2009, $2010 depending on what market you're looking at. However, since then we've had a broad sell-off on gold, and we're now looking at what the consequences are on that, and if we're going to see a full reversal of what we saw before the banking crisis. So if we look on the charts first of all today, like I said, we had a over $200 move to the upside when SVB collapsed, and Signature Bank also unfortunately got sold off as well. But since then, as you can see, just zooming for a little bit more clarification, we've seen now that this is on the daily chart, don't forget, the sell-off and then the up spike because of the European banking crisis, but we've been assured that it will not happen again. Credit Suisse was just a one-off. So we've seen now another move to the downside. We're basically every bit of news that's coming out of the banking system is being moved by gold at the moment. So we're now looking at either the next up move or downside move. At the moment, it's looking likely that we're probably going to see another move back down to 1950, 1940 perhaps before we get another signal. If we look on the RSI, we're seeing that we're very overbought here. So it was natural that prices will start moving a bit lower in the near term at least. But if we look on the 4-hour chart, give a little bit more of an intraday perspective, we're now seeing what looks like a move to the top border of the Ichimoku cloud. I use this indicator just to give me a sense of where prices can go, because if we get heavy support here, then we can see possibly another move to the upside slightly before another leg down. So this is what we're seeing at the moment, and prices will possibly start engulfing the cloud, and then maybe we'll get another leg lower as well. So like I said, 1950, 1940 is where the economists are looking at the moment, and this will be the last support area that we saw before another move to the upside. So at the moment, we're just seeing the consequences in the near term of where we're looking at on gold, and it's very, very driven on the banking scale as well. If we look at the dollar, on the other hand, just going to look at the 4-hour chart at the moment, because I just want to get a sense of where the dollar is heading, because we've seen this downside shift because of the banking crisis, very, very bearish channel. Now we're just looking to break out of that. It's just having a little bit of a good morning on the 4-hour chart. However, consolidating nicely now in the pretense that prices will possibly start moving a little bit higher on the dollar. So just keep an eye out for the dollar, especially because the banking crisis has shifted over to the European session now, and it's supposedly, according to President Joe Biden, been the last of it, and with Janet Yellen and the Fed Chair Jerome Powell being involved, saying that depositors will be guaranteed their funds. It looks likely that there will be a few little ripple effects for the remaining part of this week, but hopefully the banking crisis scenario has probably been put to an end. And obviously, as I said, if we just have a quick look back at gold again, gold is expected to plateau slightly before starting to hit a little bit lower. But for me, if we're looking at where the next signal is, we're just waiting to see a break of this top border of the Ichimoku cloud, and then possibly, as I said, another move lower to 1960, 50, and then possibly 1940 as well before we get the next direction. So let's see how it goes, and let's see what's next in store for the banking crisis for gold, and we'll speak again in the next market review. Thank you very much for joining me once again today, and have a great trend day ahead, and bye for now.